Okay, so I think, yeah. So hey everyone, thanks for inviting me to these events. Yeah, I always like to prefer sharing my knowledge and skills to everyone, and that's why I prefer to coming to different events to share some of my knowledge that's I know. So in today's event, we'll basically learn how we can use Figma. So those who doesn't know what is Figma, so I'll just show you today that Figma is kind of like a design tool that is widely known as UX design industry for their primary software. So we'll just have a quick exploration of that tool, that how you can use that and what are the features and functionality that are widely used in the industry. And before I start, I'll just quickly give a brief intro of me. So I am not having any slide today, for the very beginning, because I thought yeah, instead of having kind of a slide, it's better if I just do this the hands-on this type of workshops. I'll actually show something. And so for that's why I am opening my Figma. Just give me 1 second. And by this time, just a little bit of intro of me. So my name is Procheta, as I hope you can see from the live that my name, and I'm a UI/UX designer working full time in Canada. And beside that, I have always involved with community work. I am an organizer of Google Developer Group and Women Tech Makers, and I have also been a mentor of the Exchange with Google Developer Program. And now I'm trying to create my own design community where I can share my knowledge and help others to learn more about that. Okay, so I say someone already shared my link. I was going to share that at the end of my session, but it's good you already have that. Yeah, just feel free to connect with me. I'm always active on there, and for any question, just reach out to me. So don't hesitate to that as well. And so I think, yeah, I think I can start. So let me just quickly share my screen. Okay. So I think you can share my screen. Just give me a second to adjust the screen size to fit within this screen. Okay, so I think this is fine now. You all can see my screen. Okay, so I think it should work now. I can see from the live that you can see my screen, and hopefully you can also. But if you think you need for any, or if you think I need to increase my font size or to zoom my window, just please let me know in the chat. I can also do that if it's hard for you to understand from my screen on this size. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just giving you at first a very brief quick overview of the tool Figma. So let's just start with this. So what is this? What you can see, so this is one part. So Figma has the two part. One part where you can do actual design work, and the other part where you can do all of your brainstorming and everything, all of your ideation process, everything, create any kind of diagram, wireframe, low fidelity prototype, or anything that you can do here. And once you've done all of your the brainstorming, ideation, and the draft, then you can move to the design screen to start doing your design. So this is one of the very cool features of Figma, that you don't need to have like the multiple softwares to do this. So what basically like happens, like you have to have like multiple softwares like to do this. For example, you need to have like either Miro or like the PowerPoint or like Word or Google Sheets or anything like where you have to like make your own like the diagram or like the any kind of ideations or like writings. And then you have like your another design softwares from where you will do like the actual design works. But in Figma, like so everything is like integrated together. So it's better that you have all of your work just at one place and you do not lose that. And there's like a good way you can also like link up between your ideation to your prototype as well. Oh, so the good news is the Figma is like totally free. So there's a totally like a free version. You can just quickly go to online and like write Figma and you can download the app. So let me just see like write the name. So it's called Figma. So we will learn like something about the Figma. Okay. Just ignore my typing mistake. Like it's just like happened so many times. Like you just please just like I apologize for that. Okay. Figma Hands-on Workshop. Okay, and another good thing is, so first of all, it's totally free. You can download the free version and just do all of your work. There's no limitation of that. And the secondly, you can use it on your browser as well. So it's basically you don't need to download any softwares and like install that to your PC. And you need like a high configuration PC to run that. That's totally not required. Even if you just have like a very low configuration PC, like or anywhere, like even if you're an iPad or anywhere, you can just like directly go to the Figma websites and click onto the browser and you can like use it on your browser in the Google Chrome or like the Safari or any of the browser. You can do like pretty much all the work that you can do like if you have the desktop software. So that is very lightweight, so and that is very handy, so you can access it from anywhere. Even if like you don't have access to your home PC, you can just log into your Figma account to any other PC and have all those things. So okay, let's just start and like explore some of the cool features like that are like the pretty much widely used like in the design industry, and also as a beginner that you need to like know to like start or like boost your like the design process. So the very first thing I'll go, so in there like you'll see, so and this one, so this is basically, so these features that I am using like the board, it's called like the FigJam board. Okay. And later I will like show you FigJam board like inside Figma. That will comes like if you have a Figma account, you will get it for free. So there's no worry. You don't need to have like a two separate account to have like the two different types of features. Okay, so first let's talk about like some of the important steps that we always use like in the design industry. That is like all of this like the diagram box that we need for making a quick like user flow or diagram or anything. Then we have this sticky notes, and what you do in the sticky notes, like it's really like very much handy to do a teamwork, like whenever like, so for instance, like I just created a user flow and I need some feedback from my teammate, like I just share the file with them. So on top, like you'll see there is like a share options, and from there you can just copy the link and share it to anywhere, or either you can also like send invite to them, so anyone can have access, and you can also control the access, like if the person can view or just can edit. So this is really cool. So and then like, so from there like they can just like have their own like the comments within that, and there's some really good stuff. So and there's also like the libraries that you can use, and there's also like other stuff like the plugins. So there's lots of good plugins. So I just have this, so like all of this plugin, because I find this like really like very easy to do my work. So let's just explore like one point. So for instance, like let's just make something. So let's make it like a quick like a login page, like see like how we can make a quick login page, like exploring all of this Figma features. So for instance, if we want to create a login page, so let's just make like a login page. So login page, we are going to create a login page today. And then like, so, and while you're like creating your user flow, there'll be a couple of like convention that, for instance, like we will need. So these three icons, as you see, these three are like the widely used because they have their own purposes of this. So for instance, so when we have this like the rectangular shape, that means like this is a page or this is a screen. But when we have like this kind of rounded rectangular shape, that means like these are the steps. So this is not actually a page, but these are the steps that we need to perform. Or these are the steps that are associated with this page. And when there's like a diamond shape, it shows the action. So steps, and this is like the page or screen. So these three are we will mainly use like these three to create like a user flow for a login page and see how we can do that. So I'm just like duplicating these and for like let's just start. So at the home page or like the screen of login page. And then, so how many steps do we need to follow inside one login page? And that's what we will describe within our steps shapes. So, and so now we can think like, okay, so why I cannot like use like different types of shapes? So it's basically, so for the design, these are like well predefined pretty much, like, and well commonly used everywhere. So this is becomes like very easy and familiar to any other people. Like whenever anyone see like your user flow, they will just quickly know, okay, so this is gonna be one page and these are just like steps and actions. So I just need to create like this feature as a page, but not this as a page. But this would be like as like actions that I need to perform. So it's basically like any kind of conditional logic or any kind of button or any link or anything that we will put inside these actions. So now let's see. So inside the home page, so at the login page, how many steps do you need to follow? So at first, we need to like, obviously we need to have some options to create an account, right? So create an account, and the next thing we might have like login. So these two things are commonly, so now we will just like connect them together. That so whenever I will jump into the login page, either I can log in or either if I don't have a login, then I have to like create an account. Or so either you can like define it by this way or otherwise, so you can like have it like there are multiple options like that you can define this well. So let's just for example think it like a very simple. So like so I am on my login page homepage, then what are the steps into I need to like login, and then in order to like log in, what else do I need? So I need to like have my either for example my username and my password. Okay, my username and password. And then the next thing is, so I'll just hit my login button, right? So, and then, for example, username and password, I'll just like submit or like login or like anything, or either way we can also like move it to here. If we, so it's basically I'm just like trying to show like as many possible ways that you can like create a user flow depending on your work, like how you want to represent that. So there's no like predefined or defined way that this is the actual way that you need to follow. It's just your ideation, how better you think you can just represent. And so, and this can happen like you need to like repeat or iterate it multiple times to have it like more understandable. That's what like I'm just trying to show here. So it can change, the user flow it can change like any time, and it always changed until you have like the delivered product. The user flow always changes. So there's no way like if you cannot like get it done by the first time, so because this is gonna change all time. So now I have my username and password, and then what else, like after I put my username and password, I will just click on login. And then when I click on login, this will show me like something, some kind of the successful message, like, yeah, your login has been successful or successfully login, like something like this. So for example, success message, I'll just have it like as a condition, because what I'm gonna do next is that you will see, and then from there success passes, and then okay, so if I become successful, like successfully to login, that will give me, that will help me to like enter into my next screen. So and then I will have my login screen. So what else comes after the login screen? So once I log in, I will have my actual like the software window, so like or something like call it like the app window, right? So on there like I can just click enter into like the app interface or like anything. So this could be like, it's just like, but what if like if the login isn't successful, like for example I forgot my password or I forgot my username or I don't have an account yet. So on those cases, so there comes like another options like, so and there I write success message yes. If I become like successful, then I will enter it into the app window. But what if no, or like error? Okay, so like, so after I have my error, then what are the possible ways like it could be? So there could be like two different ways. So for instance, like in one, and also like error. So there could be two different options like either. So obviously there's, I need to like change the screen because this is not an actions. This is gonna be a next steps. Like if I cannot successfully log in, then what would be the next step? Either I forgot my password, or like the forgot, or like the recover my password or my username. This could be one options or one steps that I need to do. So for instance, like forgot my password or username, and if I forgot my password, what is the next step? Then I need to like recover. And what if on the other hand, like if I show an error message and I don't have an account, so error message, so like, and it will show like don't have an account. So if I don't have an account, like what are the next steps I need to do? So the next step is I need to do is create an account. And if I want to create an account, like what are the things like I don't need, or what are the steps I need to follow? So I need to like have my create my username And then there's like a couple of other things that I do need, right? So I need to like create a password, or it could be like I need to have my email address. Okay, so this is like basically console like login phase user flow. Right? So it goes so there you can see like we have pretty much like made like the whole user flow of login screen. Now let's just move. So if we are already done, so for example, then yeah, so someone is after login successfully, there comes the login screen. Yeah, that's yeah, welcome screen. Yeah, so it could be like anything. So that you want to like have inside your app as the next steps. So let's just have it like welcome screen. So see so now we have like a pretty much idea what we are going to design and what my app is going to look like and what are the functionality in my app could be. So this is like that's how like the user flow is so important and so powerful before you start jumping to like making your design of like something of your ideation. So this is called like the so there's a like term like the golden piece in UX design. So like user flow is mainly like called as the golden piece of your ideation process. So that's why like I would like always recommend like whenever you're making any kind of design, like it could be any design, just to start to make like some sort of like this kind of like user flow or like the task flow that will really help you when you will start your design. So now I have my user flow. Now it's time to move to do some design work, like how we can actually set our Figma design feature to create this screen. All right, so this was the Figma board where we did all of this process, and also I want to show you some of the like the cool features like that I always use. For example, this like the find and replace. So this is really cool. So for instance, if I just want to like change any text or anything, like if I just made a mistake, for example, I just search like username and it already shows, look, I have used username 3 times, and anywhere in text you can choose it like whichever you want, like the beginning of the text or anywhere. So let's just like try something and replace with, for example, I want to replace with like something, for example, like email. Okay, and this will show me the email and this will show us everything. And if I just hit replace, you see this is already being changed, and if I just click replace all, this will change also. This is such a lifesaver like when you need to change any word or any just one word from the whole user flow, when you have like a 50 or like hundreds of like steps like this is really handy. And the next is the spell checker, like that is like you can use, but yeah. And also like the another one that is like really cool, like this, like the call this like feature like the unsplash, this plugin. So in here you will find like all those like the relative free images to use for your design. And this is so cool, like to present any kind of low fidelity or anything when where you want to like show some visual representation. That's really helpful. And there's also like a couple of other like the plugins that like you can like, explore like when you are doing designing. This basically depends on like which plugin you find important for your work. Just like have that. It's not necessarily, for example, I have all of these five. You have to have all of these five, or like you have to all those hundreds that everyone use. Like it's just like whichever is like important for your work, because each of them have their own purpose. And so, okay, now let's just move on to do some design, like how we can set a design template to make this user flow. So this is the interface of the actual Figma design screen. So in here we have all this layer, assets, and there we have like the design product inspect. So it's basically you can like inspect all of your code from there to here. So, and there's all this others like the frames, and if I click on frame, this will show me all different types of frame that I want to use, like a tablet, desktop, presentation. It is all those different sorts of like the frame that you can like start it. So let's just start with like iPhone 13 mini, something with this. And there's my page. So what I want to like name my page, uh, login page, login page version. So, and I basically like start with like version because it's easy to like, and from there I just like accommodate all of the info together and then like I move to the next step. So, and so usually like I just like create like all of these pages all together. So I know like, okay, so how many steps I still need to do. That just keeps me motivated to like do more and more work. And low fidelity, and then after the low fidelity what I go like just go for like the high fidelity like version 1. So and then because there could be like the multiple version updates, so I just like start with the version 1 login page wireframe. So now I have my frame. Now let's see how I can just actually create that design. So let's just first like so what is we need first? So home start page. So I need something like email and password. So I need something to input the email and password in my login page. And also like I just like want to add so something like this, like the welcome text in here. Like so this is the login. So I'll just like have it. So if there is like any kind of like important like the text that I want to have in my particular pages, that I just like keep it like any of those like the alignment, these types of like icons, just so I don't forget it like later, because this is like really important. Like for any of these pages, if I don't like either like the welcome text or like the title text of the space, then it becomes like hard to understand like what is the purpose of this space. For example, like let's just show you the examples right now. So I need something, so let's just write like email. I need email and I need like password, right? Okay, so I would need email and password to log in. And then now it looks like so it looks like really like horrible. So we need to like adjust the text as that. So how we can do it? We can do it from here. So in there, like auto read, and like the auto read, and like the choose the font, like the choice is kind of like a smaller. Just choose like 14. Or let's just choose like 16 for now because it's better to see within the big fonts. But the 14 is kind of like the standard font size for the mobile applications, but I'm using 16 because the 14 is like hard to see, so that's why. So, okay, so I have my email and password, these two texts, and now what's next? So I need to have like some sort of like the box or anything where like user can input their email, right? So now I need to design that, so we can do that. So we can just like have it something from here, like from the rectangle, just like this, or either way, and just like 4, and just I'll have some stroke, and I don't like, I'll just like hide it. So now you can see it looks like pretty much like a text box. Email, okay. But and I'll just like group them together, right? Group selection email. But there is like some problem here. So if inside my rectangle, for instance, like if I want to like have some placeholder text, like for it to show the instructions, like please enter your email here or write your email here, then how am I gonna write? So the only way I can do it, so I can again like enter email and just place it on top of it here. Okay, and then also adjust the types, and then I need to also like change the color of this like from here. But this is, and also like it's hard to like see, okay, so if this is in the center or not, or what if like if I just move my text box, my rectangle, the text is just moving with the rectangle. So the only way I have to do it, like I have to make them again like group them, group inside group. The only way, like in this way, like they can move together. But okay, so there was this, and I just like move it around it. Okay, so this is the only way I can do it, but still you see the problem. This is not like being in the center, and that's where the best trick is to have, let me just show you, this is just like a lifesaver of designers. Like for example, I'm writing like write your email here. Okay, I'm just setting it to auto weight, and I'm just like setting it to like color so it looks like placeholder, and then just right click on that and then see the auto layout, just add auto layout. The auto layout is basically like to like set up as to like follow the structures and the guideline. That's how the coding works in the web browser, like the HTML, CSS. This is where like how it works. So just basically like a design version of like the CSS. So you can see, so when I have that, there's already like the options, like this is called like the padding, like how much padding I want and how much space I want between this and this. And if I want it like horizontal or vertical, I can also change that. So it's basically the padding around the items. So it's basically like in the CSS when I'm writing a code, there's like all of these options like this. So you are having all of these options like all together, and in there, so once it comes into my frame, so that is my input field, and then I just add some strokes and like add some borders, and then and then I'll just like, I don't have it right, so I'll just like write it as like email. So my email and my input field, those are all together, and I'll just add them two together, and again another auto layout, so I can control their like the horizontal or the vertical padding. So I can see, I can just easily control them, and I can also choose the layout, like if I want them like horizontal or like vertical. So that is so easy. And I can also choose like the alignment, like if I just want them to be on center, like left align or anything, or I would just prefer, and then from here I can easily like choose the alignment from here. So that is so easy. And let's just like start with 8, because why I'm starting with 8, because this is kind of like a standard way to start giving or to adjust your spacing, to like start with 8 and then like increase it by 8 each time, like 8, 16, 24, like this way. So that is mainly the standard way to keep the hierarchy of the typography and like the visual hierarchy. Okay, so now I have my email, and so as you can, so you already see like what is the like the disadvantage of using like this way. So I wouldn't have that, I'll just hide it, and I'll just have like this one. So I have my email, and then how much I want it to be, like for example, if I also just add like inside like auto layout the whole frame, what it does, it gives me the options to, like, for example, I want the 20, okay, and then I can just like get it like this way and then this way. So even if I just move it, you can see is there is always like the 20 pixel like the padding all around this, so I don't need to worry about like changing or like a positioning or sizing my content. So this will automatically have like the 20 pixel padding all around this, and then I can just like make the size as much like as I can to like fit it within the frame. So probably it was like 620. Let's just have it 620. So I have my email, and then what else I do need. So okay, so there's the one thing. So let's see, my input field is kind of like small, so how I can like adjust it to make it like the full width. So an option like field container. This is automatically like adjusted with all of this container, and see it just like moved around like with all of my increase and decrease my whole frame size. So this is so cool, like to design like the responsive design. Okay, and just have it like fill container. So this is so cool. So I have my email, and then what else do I need? I need to have an options to input my password. So one thing I can do is like, okay, so I'm just like duplicating this. As you can see, if I'm duplicating this, this is automatically taking some space because I put like 10 over here, then put it like 16. So this will automatically, see if I just keep like adding more and more, yeah, this will like have like a 20 gap between all of this. And also the cool thing is, so if I just have it like the frame, for example, I'm sorry, yeah. And then, okay, so I do not want all of this, so I can just like delete. I don't need all of this, right? I just need one options to have my password. So I duplicate that, can add like password, write to password here, and also I need to have like, okay, so now there is the problem. So if I just duplicate that again, so for instance, I just changed the font size of this from 16 to, for example, like 36. But so it only changed in one places, but in order to keep the consistency, like we need to like change it to everywhere, right? So it's just like two felt right now. For example, when I will have like 100 of the screens, so like hundreds of like input fields, then I need to change it like 100 times to every places. But don't worry about that. We have the cool features that's called like component. So how I did that, so you just click on that and the right click, there's an option like the create components, or either you can find it on top, these icons, that means like the create components. So I just created a components of this, and I'll just keep it outside of my main screen, main frame. So that is my input field. And what is the text size? I want to keep it, for example, like 16. And so that is my email, and then just duplicating this. I just have a password, write your password here. All right. So, and now what else, how we can check the power of components? Let's see. So see, let's see in here, I'm changing it to 24. As you can see, it's changing to everywhere. And even if I just change the color of this to like something, so it's changing it to everywhere. So that's what the benefit of like making a components of this. So, and always like make sure you just like keep your components like in separate rather than having it into a frame, because that is gonna be hard. Like if I like have all of my components just in one place, then it's easier to like find that and change that. But if I just set up my components inside the screen pages, then again I need to find, okay, so which in screen pages is my main component. So basically, so as you can see, like, so these like the failed kind of like a diamond shape. So this is my master components is called. But whatever is like, I'm just like, if you just duplicate it from here, that will become the child components. And whatever the things I changed in my master components, that will be changed to my child components. But what if I do the alternative? Like for example, I change the size of like 18, and then there is like the options, like if you go to like the main so if you want to find any of the main components of your child component, just right click on that, and from there you'll see like either say go to main component, this will take you there, or you'll also see like push over to main component. So if you made any changes to your child components and you want it to be adjusted to your main component, then just yeah, so there's the options. Because I already like changed all of this, so now I don't have it. So that's how like it was like so much important, like having like making components of like everything. Okay, so now let's just move to the next step. So we have our like email password. Now we need a button for like the login, right? And also we need to have like a welcome text. So the welcome text is like, okay, this is welcome to GDG. So, and I'll just like quickly drag and drop it to here, and I'll just have it, and I'll just increase the size of it to, let's say it's just too, okay. Or if I just want to like break it down like this, yeah, I can also like do that and just change it to like this. And so now I will just see how I did it. It was so simple to make it center. I just like click on the resizing one, and from there I just select like fill container. And if I see like hack content, that means this will be shrink to just within the content. But if I select fill container, this will be like filled with the whole like the container that I have dedicated for me. So that means like it will have like the 20 pixel margin around this, and there will be like this gaps between each of these elements like 16. And then the next thing we need a button, right? So we need like a login button, and the same thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create like a auto layout button. And what I'm gonna do, I'm also making it into components because I'll need this like the button, I'll need it like in everywhere, right? So, and I'll have like fill like any of those like the fill colors. So it's basically like the blue, right? So let's just have something in blue, and the text color, I need to change the text color to like white. Okay, and I'll just have it like on the corner for just to make it look like more like a button. And the cool thing is like once I like resize this, I can just control the padding around my text. So in here, if I just have it like 20 and 20, now see, now it looks more like a button, right? So you can adjust it like everything over here. But what I did, I just set like left and right padding 20, but the top and bottom padding to 10. And again, I will make it as like a component, and I'll just like duplicate that. Then I'll have the child that I'm gonna drop it here, drop it like the login. Now it's time to like lay out this whole as tabs, right? So it's basically like as you can already see, so it's not like a proper like the layout that we usually see inside the app. So where we have like, so let's just group these two like together because we do need that auto layout. So these two like remains together, and then I'll have the button within that. Okay, and all of those are my body content. I'll just like have it, and this is my header. Right. So now now I have my body like the header, and also what I'm gonna do, I'm also like adding it inside like the one container and fill container, and that is my header. So, and why I added this inside autoload, because this when I add this inside autoload, it becomes like responsive, so I can just like easily like easily adjust this based on like how much I want it to be, right? So instead of fixed weight, always select the fill container. That will give you the responsiveness when you just like shrink it down and up. So how much is that? That's like probably like 60 something. Yeah. Okay, so now I have my body and header. Now it's time to make the layout like proper. So what I'm gonna do, I need to have like the margin on the top. I need to have like for example 50, or could be like for example, let's just give it to like 80 and like 80, 80, 80 and 80, and I'm also like adding all of those inside like one layout, like the whole content, and then I'm adding the margin and padding like within this. So how much do I want? So okay, so I have my 80, or you can like have it like 50 as much as you want. It's up to you. I'm just like putting it 80 for now, and then so I need to, so I think like we need some space like between these two, because if I want to have like a logo after my welcome screen, like of my app logo, then I need some space over here. Also let's just like have it like something like this just for now, that just to show it as like as my logo. Okay, so okay, and now I'll just have it like an in vertical. Okay, I'll just like set it to like fix and like fill container. Okay, and now I have my steps, and I'll just make it like center to make it like, and the size I'll just have like for example like 8. So now I have my welcome text, and I have my like logo, and then I have my email password and login like and everything. So that's the like is basically like a very like the wireframe of like a login page that you can make like based on TensorFlow, and we have like a couple of other screen like, yeah, you can just like create that by your own. So also the same thing, like if I just want my like to create an account, I can also like change it to any of this button as I want. And then so just for now just have it like login, because this is the very first screen like the login. Okay, so I know this was like quite a lot of information like within that, just like, so if you were to ask me like any questions, like we might not have much time, let's just see like if you have any questions like or anything within that, or if there's like anything that you want me to redo again or re-explain, just let me know in the chat. I'm happy to like go over that again. Okay, let's just like wait a minute, and I'll just like have a like 1 minute pause to give you. So, and see like how it goes. Okay, so by this time, so this is how our login screen. And so let me just like quickly show, create another screen. So there is my next screen. I'm just, so by the meantime, like you prepare your questions or query, I'll just show you like how we can like make it actually functionable. So I have my welcome to today's hackathon. This is my very start screen, and there goes my, and there would be my next screen, right? So for instance, okay, so So if I just hit click welcome to JDC hackathon, for example, like anything like a content page or like idea submission page, anything. So this is mainly my next like okay. So fill container, and I think this is mainly the next skin that will comes up like when I am able to successfully log in. So how I can show this like the welcome screen, just make it like a different color so it looks, we can like differentiate between these two. Let's have it like blue, and I'm also like in size. Doesn't matter, I'm just like trying to show you how we can like connect these two pages to make it like functionable as well. So okay, so for that, so on the right top bar you'll see the options like design, product, and inspect. Just hit on like the product and the frame I want the frame to be iPhone 13 mini. You can choose your model, like which color you want, like midnight or anything. And then so I want this screen to show when I click on login. So just click on that and see there's a plus icon. Click on that and just drag it over to here, and from there you can select like each of these activities, like do you want it to show when hovering or when pressing on tab or anything. So just keep it like on tab for now, and you can also like select like the what kind of animation type you want. So I just like keep everything like by default for now. So now I have a connection. Let's just like play this. Right, so if I just hit on login, see when I clicked on like the login button, it shows me the previous screen. Login, previous screen. Okay, and then like for the 13 mini, let's just like quickly like have a look. What is the size 13 mini? 375 by 812. So I'll just like quickly adjust the size. 375, 22, and the same. Okay, so if I just have it, say it changed. So now I have my login page inside my iPhone 13 mini frame, and there's my login page. So this is mainly like pretty much like all the stuff that you need to like that you can explore as a beginner to start your design work inside Figma. And there's also like lots of other features like I couldn't go through like due to the time constraint, but feel free to reach me in my LinkedIn. Like I'd be happy to share or answer any of your questions that you want to know or anything. Yeah, I believe like someone just already have like posted my yeah, someone already shared my LinkedIn over here. So just feel free to like connect with me. And I see like if there is like no more questions or anything, I can just like stop sharing my screen or anything. Okay, someone have one question. Yeah, sure, go ahead. Well, actually several. Okay. I will stop sharing. I think I can stop sharing my screen probably. Yeah. Yeah, so if you have several questions, I guess like we might not have like enough time to cover all of your questions. Just start with one and let's see like how much we can cover. Further, could you please explain the difference between high and low fidelity prototyping? Yeah, so it's basically the difference between like high and low fidelity prototyping is that, okay, so I guess I need to like share my screen again. So it's basically like what you can see in what I did today. It's mainly like it's called like the wireframing or like the low fidelity in some cases, like where I just only have some of those like I have like the dummy box, some dummy text. So, and also like don't have any colors, and also don't have like the proper like the styling guide or styles or like any of those like the images or like anything. So it's basically like the low fidelity is like when I'm just like trying to like accommodate like all of my content inside my frame and see how it looks, and just trying to like figure out like which layout would suits best. So there comes the low fidelity. So in the low fidelity, we didn't do worry about the text. Just can have some dummy text just to see how the text looks, and just have some like the basic like all of these contents that I need inside my this frame, and see how it looks like as a frame overall. But in the high fidelity, in there wouldn't be like any dummy text. It would be actual text that my app will contain, actual images, actual names, and actual colors, and actual like the typography or like the actual links or anything, or actual button names that will have in my delivered version. So that is called the high fidelity. So I hope like this might answer like some questions. Is it possible but not recommended from your viewpoint to use like Adobe Photoshop or for design products? So in the Photoshop, there's no way you cannot make any prototype that I just showed. Like when you click on a button, it shows the next screen. So this is like all of those like the interactivity and functionality that you're gonna do in the Adobe Photoshop. The Photoshop is basically just like for like the image designing software. When you want to design any of this like the static images or the static pages, then it's good to have like the Photoshop. But otherwise, like I wouldn't recommend to use Photoshop for making any prototypes or like any kind of interactive UI. And also inside the Figma, and also like in any other like the prototyping software. So the prototyping software is kind of different than the Photoshop. Photoshop is mainly like the digital image design software. So inside all of this like the prototyping softwares like XD, Figma, Xure, like the Balsamic and others, like there have like lots of these options. Like you saw, like I added like the auto layout, like how we can make it responsive, and how we created like the components, like all of those kind of steps. So nothing is there in the Photoshop because that's basically like the image designing software. It's not a software made for prototyping or for making like the high fidelity or like the actual deliverable UI design. So if you want to like design any kind of functionable UI for your app or software, just please try to use like any of these prototyping softwares. But if you just want to design some like a static pages or like the static design like the or raster images, like then just go for like the Photoshop. And also I also need to use Photoshop because to design my logos and like design some of the image contents that I need to have inside my UI. So Photoshop, like it's basically the usability, like each of the software has its own like the user purposes. So you need to figure out like which one you can use best to make your UI. So since I heard that is, so there's another question. Like let me just, I guess like we're almost out of time, but I'll just try to go through these questions, and maybe we won't have enough time to get more questions. So it's just like I heard that is what I thought. This besides Figma, someone mentioned study XD. It is also possible to products with the photo illustrator like Adobe Photoshop. With the photo illustrator like Adobe Photoshop. Oh yes, I guess it's basically the same question. Yeah. So I already mentioned like the XD, Figma, Xure, and there's also like a couple of other prototyping tools out there. Mm, I don't like remember like all those names. So yes, if you write the like the prototyping software or the prototyping design tool, there'll be lots of lists that are actually dedicated to make like the actual functionable prototype. But the Photoshop, yeah, it's just to make like the yeah like the photo editor, just like doing some making some digital image, but not as like actual prototype. So I think maybe we're just almost like over a bit of a time, right? So let's see if there's more. Okay, so okay, so I guess okay, so we need to wrap it up, but this is the last question. I can just quickly answer just in 30 seconds. And if you have like more questions, like you have like my LinkedIn, just like feel free to reach out to me over there. Like I'd be happy to answer your questions. So the rest step further as well to work from product, which is possible to handle product issue functionality. Yeah, so I just mentioned yes, the raster for editor really adds value within your prototyping tool because I need to use like the Photoshop, Illustrator, like a lot of time to design my icon, to design my logos, and to design some of the other contents to show it inside my prototype. So that's not like we definitely need like a raster for editor. And then like it's possible animate, yeah, it's definitely. So inside the prototyping tool, there's a lot of options that you can animate to show functionality, and there's also like a lot of plugin that you can use to make it as a more advanced level. So you just need to like explore like what are the features like you want to use. So yeah, I guess yeah, that's yeah. Just feel free to reach out to me like on my LinkedIn for any questions or for any suggestion or like anything. I'd be happy to answer. And yeah, there's my LinkedIn over there as well. So I guess we are already like 6 minutes over the time. So thank you everyone for joining the sessions. And it was really, really, really good. Like I always like the questions like that comes up. It feels like yeah, at least like I'm trying to like adding some value and trying to share my knowledge. And the questions really inspires me to like share more. And also, I'd like to thank to the organizing team for inviting me to show my work or like to show some of the stuff that I love to do. Thank you to the organizing team and thanks to everyone. Okay, so guess we can just call it a day. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.